Woonsocket.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
All right, it's Coffee Ann here on ON Radio as we are all live in the studio. Dave's been running the show by himself the last couple of days because of the snow situation. But I'm here. I'm Joe Callahan.
His commute is very short. So.
It is very short. Well, sometimes it gets bottlenecked around the stairs, which is a problem. But I've made it in. All right, after a couple of days out hanging out in Mansfield for most of the time. All right, and around the table there is Melissa Smith from the St. Antoine Communities. Hi, Melissa.
Good morning.
Tim Draper from Navigant Credit Union here as well.
Good morning, everybody.
All right, and our first segment sponsor is the St. Antoine Communities. What's new over there?
I'm trying to muster up my cheery.
We're gonna get this energy level up a little bit
because I'm a little cranky. I kind of came in all frustrated and irritated at the fact that it's snowing
Still
more
snowing.
outside.
Yeah.
Oh Lord! But I'll save my other message for regarding the snow and weather and planning and things for my second message. In this message, I always like to open a little bit with the services that are available at St. Antoine Community.
Shoveling is that available?
Shoveling services are available. I know. Let me talk about all the amenities and services that we don't normally feature. Hot soup. Hot showers, because generator access for the entire property, right? Snow removal and all the... Anyways, no, I'm sorry. So, okay, getting back on track. Focus. So on our property, we have assisted living and we have short and long-term skilled care. We have a wonderful rehab facility called Easy Street Rehab, and then we have 2 levels of memory care on our property. So if you are interested in learning about the services and all the amenities that we just happen to plug in there that I don't normally mention, absolutely reach out to me at 401-767-3500 or email me at msmith@santantoine.net and I'll walk you through your options.
All right, Melissa, thanks. Tim, in terms of the branches of Navigant Credit Union, delayed openings, what's going on?
Yeah, so I thought I heard through the grapevine yesterday that there is one branch that is closed, and then
I thought that was Central Falls.
Yeah, Central Falls is closed. Situate is like a noontime start, and again, it's just where do you put the snow, and that's the problem.
Is that the issue in Central Falls?
Oh yeah,
it's just
I mean, it's not like you can push it anywhere. We've got 2 parking lots, and there's no like land buffer around it to take the snow and pop it there. So I think they're going to have to
throw it in the street.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. They're going to have to truck it out, I'm pretty sure. So I'm sure that's not.
How much is that going to cost you guys?
It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah, we were looking at the church budget last night. I had a finance committee meeting for my church last night. Everything looks so good until this storm, and now all of a sudden, this $20,000 surplus that we have is going to evaporate overnight.
Quickly. Same thing over at St. Antoine.
Can't relate to that at all.
No, it's going to be gone.
I think the challenge that we keep facing, every year, and we are in desperate need of renovations and all things, just refreshing and updates and all things. And then you remember we're in New England, right? So if it's not, discussing COVID from 5 or 6 years ago that we talked about really buried us for a period of time with PPE costs and overtime costs and all the things. Right. The last couple winters, I mean, this winter in particular is going to absolutely kill us between staffing. So as an example, we have to worry about 3 shifts of staff, which you don't have to worry about in banking, and it's just one of those obstacles where you have staff that are going to have to stay overnight. They're going to have to be there in advance of a storm to make sure that we're seamless, to make sure that folks are getting their meds and their treatments and whatever supports that they need. And it runs so smoothly because we're so good at it. Yeah. But it takes a lot. It's a lot of planning and coordinating. It takes a lot of dedication from staff, and really reminding our families to be a little forgiving. I think that is the, I put a little message onto Facebook just thanking our staff and kind of acknowledging the fact that, they really, it's not just about the job for them, it's beyond the job. Right. When you're showing up knowing that you're going to have a blizzard on a Monday that's rumored to rival the blizzard of 78, and you're hearing it elevate. We left work on Friday thinking, maybe 8 to 10 inches in total. We can handle that. Staff's like, I'm not staying over Sunday. I'll just come in early, 5 a.m. on Monday. And then as each day goes by, and you're sitting there on Sunday, and you have staff that are saying, hey, you know what? Yep. I love my people. I want to make sure they're cared for. I know I'm not due until 5, 6 a.m. on Monday, but I'm going to come stay over at 7 p.m. on Sunday, help serve meals, clean up the kitchen, like whatever, like, and just, jump in, be available overnight if you need to.
And you've got facilities for workers?
Oh, we get real creative. So, so let's start in the assisted living. In the assisted living, I have a respite apartment that happened to, fortunately, the resident left because our respite apartment is a temporary stay option for folks that are trying to extend rehab, or if they're looking to test out the villa before they move into an apartment. So fortunately, that apartment, the person just moved out of the respite apartment into a permanent apartment last week, so it's open just for a week, because next week I have it booked for someone else. So that's an apartment that's fully furnished. It's a queen bed. It's got a love seat and a recliner, nice. A big bed-like recliner, right? So I know that I can fit at least 4 people in that room. And then I have 2 apartments that are spoken for, but they had to move their move-in dates because of the weather. Yeah. So I'm like, I have 2 apartments that are empty, so air mattresses go in those. Yeah. So we set up about, the last storm I set up for about 10 people. This one, we were not expecting it to be what it was. Yeah. So I only made sure that we had about 6 or 7 spots. In the nursing home, the first floor dining room ends up being like, I mean, I don't even know what to explain it. It is just air mattress haven. Yeah, it's lining up, and you got to be real comfortable in your skin to stay in that space with 20, 30 of your coworkers side by side, sleeping at night,
snoring.
And funny little story, I went into St. Antoine residence yesterday to go over to visit the memory care assisted living unit, and I walked by the first floor dining room and I saw all the air mattresses left over, and there was the cutest, I don't know if she's a nurse or a CNA, I couldn't see her face. She was like wrapped up in a white blanket like a mummy, and she had on like a bonnet almost like down to her eyes, and then she had a eye mask on, and she had headphones over that, and the sun that was coming through the window, this is at 12:30 lunchtime, cascading on her, like any one of us would have been like, oh, the sun, like whatever. She was out cold. And so I said something to the woman in the office across the hall from the dining room, and I was like, can you imagine, like, there's nothing going on around her, she is out cold. She's like, she's been like that since 6 a.m. this morning, because she actually worked 24 hours straight, which is really not what you want to do, but you do in a crisis state of an emergency storm. But she was out cold since 5 a.m. to 12:30, just laying in that like that mummy state. And I said, you don't worry about anything when you're that tired. You don't. But this is just a testament to the kinds of staff that we have. And I'm not just going to say it's St. Antoine, because I have friends that work on Landmark and Miriam, and this is what healthcare workers do. They prioritize their patients. They step up when they need to. They get the weather thing. They're not going to be the ones that are home with their kids, sledding and serving hot chocolate. They know that they have a job to perform, and it takes a unique breed. So thank you to all healthcare workers, not just at St. Antoine, everywhere.
Yep. But you must have noticed this with your husband up at Holy Cross, because I noticed it with my daughter down at Bridgewater State. Yeah. And I said, well, there's no school. Yeah. But there's 6,000 students. Yeah. You all got to eat. Oh. I go, is the dining hall open? It is. Well, who's working the kitchen? And where are they staying? She's like, oh, I don't know. So it must be the same thing. It must be at every college.
You don't think about those things when the weather's great, right? But then all of a sudden it's like,
so my kid just got a job in the dining hall, believe it or not. She's trying to secure a spot to be at Starbucks by next year on campus, but you have to start in the dining hall and then you get promoted, right?
Gonna move up.
So she's like, I don't care. I'm gonna work in the. She just wants a little extra spending cash on the weekends, and so anyways. I had that conversation with her. She just started last week, was her first week.
Oh, boy.
And I said, don't be surprised if you get a call saying, hey, kid,
you're the junior, you're the rookie.
We need you to go in. And so she told me, she said, that doesn't, they already told me it won't happen because I'm one of like the bottom breeds. Yeah. They give all of the kiosks around campus, the coffee shops, the sandwich shops, whatever, they get priority hours. They all report to the dining hall to work. So there's sophomore, junior, seniors that work in these other more higher tiers. Advanced. But when the snowstorm comes, they go to them first, and they get the hours for the dining hall to keep it running. But you're right, like chefs and whatever else. I have no idea where they stay. I'm sure they do what we do, at St. Antoine, and they have to.
Place somewhere.
There has to be a place somewhere. But I'm sure your kid said what my kid. She's like, I'll call DoorDash, and I'm like,
no, they're not coming.
They're not coming.
It's a state of emergency.
All the restaurants are closed. I know. So I don't know where you think they're ordering from.
I went to get coffee yesterday morning, and Phantom Farms was closed. closed. Duncan was closed. I was like, oh my God. As soon as they lifted the travel ban, I was out on the road.
I don't know what college it was that on the news they interviewed 3 college kids in Massachusetts. I don't know which school it was. Travel ban and everything. They said they couldn't get to the dining hall on their campus, so they got in their car and they were driving to go find like a McDonald's or something. They cracked me up because this is where like the smartest are the stupidest. You know, and you say to yourself, these are college kids, bright kids.
Right.
That can't make it across campus to the dining hall wherever they were at school. We're going to get in our car in a blizzard and we're going to think that one of those establishments are open, right? Yeah. I mean, it was just next level. Yeah. But when you're hungry, you're hungry.
My daughter was complaining because she had to walk to the dining hall in a foot of snow. Oh yeah, you have it rough.
That's
there.
When they.
This just in.
You say as a parent, remember when you didn't want the boots, the hat, the gloves, the whatever at Christmas time? I got all the practical stuff.
Yep. Now you don't want them.
Yep.
Breaking news.
What's up there, Dave Richards?
So your daughter got the poor baby award, Joe? Is that what it is?
That's what I said to her.
Poor baby.
Oh, that's rough. You're going to walk all the way there.
Look, I'm sorry to interrupt, folks, but we can see things going wrong out there. As a matter of fact, one of our neighbors has got 3 trash barrels out on the road. It's actually in the travel lane because of where the snow is.
Yeah.
And they didn't get the message. I got a phone call last night from Waste Management's robot telling me no trash pickup tomorrow, meaning Wednesday, because it was Tuesday night when they called, and they said the word Wednesday, so there's no misunderstanding. They didn't go into the whole thing about how they're going to make it up later on. They just said no trash pickup in Woonsocket on Wednesday. We are imagining that Waste Management is doing the same thing in all the other towns around, and there's quite a number of them that they have contracts with, but no trash pickup in Woonsocket today on any route. All right, tomorrow they expect to be able to pick up, and it'll be Monday's route. Friday, us folks here who put it out on Tuesdays will put it out on Friday. It's going to take 3 weeks to get back to your normal day because they can only make up 1 day a week by coming in on Saturday. You know,
Cumberland pulled trash for the entire week. They just said no pickup for the entire week.
Well, there you go.
No pickup for you.
We'll start again next week.
Start again next week on the regular schedule.
Okay. Yeah, try not to make much of a mess. You know, seriously. But put it out in your barrels if you can do so, and close the lid. If it's going to keep the lid open, then I'm saying keep it in your house. Be judicious about it. Put the spoilage stuff out there. Yeah. The casual little things that they won't let you recycle. Let them hang around the house in a bag or something like that for a bit till you can get that out there. That's the best advice I can give you, folks. That we're seeing that people are really not getting the word on this. We just want to repeat it again. Thank you very much.
So you're saying this is not the week to do spring cleaning or clean out your fridge and have all that extra trash. This would not be the week to do that.
Melissa?
Push that off.
You know, I couldn't have said it better.
People get stir crazy in this kind of weather. You know, they start cleaning closets and
couldn't
purging.
Have said it better.
And, you know,
this lady's a genius now. We know why she's.
Yep.
And can I just make a little personal comment to you? You guys are going to laugh. But what the heck? I don't mind if people laugh at me a little bit. Yesterday, I'm shoveling. Our snowplow guy, by the way, had. It was overwhelmed by the snow, and they had lost their equipment for about 11 hours while I was getting repaired. Wheel was snapped off the truck. Yeah. And it could happen under these circumstances. So anyway, I was shoveling, and we were trying to get this, that, and the other thing done, and I recall saying to myself, geez, you know, assisted living doesn't sound like that bad an idea.
You're taking my second message.
I love my little house here on Park Avenue in Woonsocket. I really love it here. I got
Dave,
my little business here.
You know
it's
that. I'll
my
hook you up.
retirement dream. But boy, I'll tell you, I would really love it.
I think that'd be hysterical.
I would really love to live at St. Antoine's today and avoid all this baloney, at least until April.
I mean, talk about sponsoring the show. We would hook you up.
It would no longer be the Navigant Credit Union Broadcast Studio. It would be the St. Antoine Community.
There you go. All right. Although we might have to talk to the zoning board in North Smithfield. Maybe. But it's fun to think about. Huh?
I'm all open to all things, all ideas that you're putting out there.
Thanks, Melissa.
We just need a little square space, not a lot.
little
See you, Dave.
All right, thanks, Dave. All right, Melissa, time for a second message, please, from the St. Antoine communities. Then we'll
Perfect
take a break.
timing.
What better way to
Segue right in.
So I was going to simply acknowledge the fact that we have been absolutely inundated with calls. I think everyone, has their panic trigger moments, whether it's the holidays or, in the event that a little emergency has happened with mom or dad, and suddenly it's like, oh, what are we going to do? This weather has been a trigger for a lot of people. I think there's a lot of folks that thought they could do it on their own and continue to stay in their home and keep managing through these New England winters. And this one's been extra challenging. And it's been a reason for a lot of folks to reach out and explore the idea of transitioning from home into assisted living. And now is the time, I would say, to reach out. We do have a wait list. We're going to get through this winter. There's no doubt we're going to get through it.
We always do.
We hope. We hope. I know that a month from now it's going to feel warm and sunny and there'll be no snow. But the reality is,
you do have an optimistic personality.
try really hard. The reality is, if you're thinking this way right now and you're feeling overwhelmed right now, I want you to imagine a year from now being a year older and having this winter all over again. So now would be the time to make these decisions, get familiar with what your options are, evaluate your resources, and come out and meet with me. I'll give you a tour. I can give you a whole understanding of the wonderful amenities of living in assisted living, because it goes well beyond snow removal, even though that right now is very attractive to a lot of people.
Well, I bet you would have a lot of residents that would be willing to help.
Well, one thing I've talked a lot about on the air is the draw for me is not something that I can pay for. I can't pay for socialization. That happens on its own. And that is the most attractive amenity that we have to offer. You're home, you're isolated, you're feeling trapped. My parents literally were a day and a half in their house and they were crawling out of their skin. I'm like, is it time? Is it time for you to move to assisted living? But I think that's what you need to think of when you feel really alone and you feel kind of paralyzed and helpless and you don't want to burden your kids and you don't know what to do. Now's the time to reach out, come see what it's all about, realize that inside the walls of the building, it's actually a lot of fun. I call it a cruise ship. That's essentially what it is. I mentioned that during COVID, especially.
And you are Julie, your cruise
We
director.
keep moving. We keep partying. We keep having fun. It doesn't matter that there's 2-3 feet of snow outside. So if you're interested in learning more, feel free to reach out to me, 401-767-3500.
All right, Melissa, thanks. We're going to take a break here on the Coffee and Program. More coming your way. Stick around.
Your station for news and sports. ON 1240.
They say in business you don't last very long if you don't know what you're doing. And if that's the case, we must know a thing or two at the Carew Investment Group, because we've been in the business since 1987, helping people just like you with their investments. At the Carew Investment Group, we employ a conservative approach to client portfolios by using only the best quality companies available, many of which pay quarterly dividends. We look for opportunities that we expect to go up in value not every day, but over time. And we take our responsibility seriously and always place our clients first in any investment decision. If you'd like to know more or would like a free portfolio review of your current holdings, you can call Paul or Ed at 765-8880. Our office is located at 2190 Mendon Road, Suite 3 in Cumberland, Rhode Island, and we'd love to meet you and see if we can help you with your investing journey. Securities offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
ON Worldwide.
Coffee and here on ON. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here, along with Melissa Smith and Tim Draper. So on my way in today, just taking a look at the road conditions. The highways were super.
Great. Yeah.
495, 95, 295, 146. Even on 295 and 95, and probably 495, but I should have paid a little more attention. Even the breakdown lanes were open.
Yeah, they've done a great job.
So the highways are looking really good.
Side roads?
But now I'm being sent pictures from people from side roads in Pawtucket and North Providence where they just haven't got.
They finished.
There's just no plowed.
Right.
So what some of the people on the streets are doing, this is when you have the good neighbors. Yeah. Okay, let's all get together and we're just going to shovel the street.
Right.
So we can all get out.
No,
that's what it's come to.
That's scary stuff because it's weighed down now and it's very heavy. Yeah.
When I used to be able to say, the blizzard of '78. Do you remember that? I remember what I remember vividly about that was exactly that. Our street did not get plowed for like a week. And my Uncle Fred, who had a Jeep and a winch on the front of the Jeep, he tried to pull the Jeep out of the street by wrapping the winch around a telephone pole to telephone pole to telephone pole. We didn't get that far. Come back. But they had snowblowed and shoveled a giant circle in the middle of the where the two streets met. And all the neighbors came out. And they had their beers and they had their coffees and it was fun for that moment in time, considering nobody could go in and the state was dry. You just surrendered. You just go, you know what? It is what it is. This time around, I understand why these side streets never got plowed during 78 is because they just don't have the equipment to do it.
Yeah.
Because when my street finally got plowed, it was a front end loader that had to come down the street and get rid of the snow. Sunday night, Monday night, after everything had started and almost stopped, I actually had one of those giant road graders come down my street. It went around the neighborhood to plow just one swath through the neighborhood. That way, the plows could come in and just push the snow off to the sides. But I was like, wow, I've never seen that. It was just a giant piece of construction equipment just driving down the streets, and it did all the streets on Diamond Hill Road.
Yeah, wow. Driving in this morning, and this is nothing against this business, but the Burger King over here in Park Square, you can't get into the parking lot. I don't know what went wrong there.
Nobody plowed it?
Right.
Wow.
So I don't know what the workers can't get in. I'm like, but the McDonald's was open, the Wendy's across the street was open, the Subway was open.
Yeah.
But I go, no one's gotten to the parking lot here. Did that fall through? Or they just didn't get the right person.
We'll go back to what we were talking about in the beginning. I mean, I think it's affording snow removal. It's expensive. It is not cheap. You're talking, maybe there's been a lot of storms. If they were already on a slippery slope, because I don't think that Burger King is ever busy. I never see it as busy as McDonald's right next to it. I could be wrong. I don't hit those two establishments. I haven't gone there in a very long time since my kids were little. But it makes you wonder if that's what a little bit of the contributor is can they afford to keep up with it?
But they're going to have to get it done sooner or later. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And if you don't have business going on, then you're not going to. That's a spiral. You're just going to go down.
Yeah.
So yesterday I had to deal with two travel bans. Living in Bristol County, Massachusetts,
right. And Rhode Island,
and the Rhode Island one, and then the other Rhode Island one got lifted. I'm like, oh great. Well, what about Mass? It got lifted later in the afternoon. But as I told Dave, I think I said it on the air as well. The fine if you were caught in Rhode Island was $85.
$85, yeah.
$500 if you were caught in Massachusetts.
Really?
Not being an essential worker out on the roads.
Wow.
Yikes.
Yeah.
But I went out I did go out last night after the ban had been lifted because getting a little low on milk. Maybe we should go. And as I'm driving to my Cumberland Farms, nearest one, I'm thinking, the travel ban was on. They might not have any.
Yeah.
Because the trucks haven't been able to deliver. So, and I walked into the store and sure enough, all the 1%, none. So I had to get whole milk. All right. I'm splurging because it was a blizzard.
Yeah. You're right. The food delivery issue, like we have providers Cisco and Gordon, major backups, major delays.
Yeah. We'll get there.
So they were supposed to come on Monday. Obviously, couldn't come Monday. Got bumped all the way to Thursday. So that's 4 days without what you're expecting to get for replenishing stash from the week before.
Would your staff have to go out and go to Stop and Shop and
our assisted living chef can do that if she needs to, because you're talking about serving, like right now we have 82 residents, so that's still a lot of people, a lot of bodies, but you can get like a dozen gallons if you had to from the grocery store and kind of makeshift until then. The nursing home, that volume is very, very large. Yeah. So that's a little bit of a different beast. But I know
if it's like a cruise ship, then you should be able to have a week's worth of groceries.
I wish we had the fridge and the freezer capacity to do that, but we don't. And I think when you're dependent on two time a week, 3 time a week deliveries from these large food providers, you have to pivot. That's been my word of the show. I think I've used that a couple times now.
Pivot.
Have I on the air, or was that in my conversation with my sister on the phone earlier? Yeah. Whose, by the way, birthday is today, and she's 50. I'm just sharing. It's a big
birthday.
Day, and I can say that on the air because she's not listening. She wants no recognition for her birthday in any capacity. No party, no nothing. She's one of those people. Move on. It's another day. She
All right. For those of you who look forward to well, maybe not looking forward to, but RIPTA is they're resuming limited service today. So just something to be aware of, including paratransit. I'm not sure what that is.
It's for disabled, right?
Yes.
Is it? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Travel restrictions have been lifted. Municipalities across Rhode Island continue to clear the snowways, so RIPTA will just be on their.
I guess RIPTA had problems this morning getting to the bus station.
I bet.
Yeah.
Not to the bus station,
Yeah.
the train station, some other areas through Providence is just going to be a nightmare.
The images in Providence are insane.
Yeah.
They're really insane.
Well, they're still trying to clear out snow, and Tim and I would talk about this beforehand, saying they're going to have to put the snow in the river.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And,
The environmentalists are going out of their mind.
They're just going to have to get, sorry, but where else do you want them to put it?
Just throw a few chlorine tabs in after it.
Well, I guess that the mayor said that he's got some lots. They are trying to truck it and put it. There's some empty areas where they can dump some of the snow.
Empty parking lots in Providence.
Yeah, or land, just giant tracts of land.
land.
Maybe, like if you were in Cumberland, they needed to put stuff. You could go to Franklin Farms. You go to Schofield Farm. Those are town-owned properties. They're open space. Just put it there, right?
Yeah.
I think for the church, our church, St. John Vianney, one of our parishioners has like 8 acres of land.
Okay.
The last snowstorm, I think they trucked some snow over to his property. He said, just put it on my land and let it melt.
Well, in Providence, can we put it? Is there room at Roger Williams Park?
You could. Why not? I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I get you don't want to clog up all these touristy areas. So find places in them that aren't as touristy and put your snow there. And you're going to have to. I mean, the alternative is throw it in the river. And I think it was you, Joe, that was saying, that you'd be picking up rock salt and the chemicals and all the other stuff, and you're throwing it in the river. If it was just salt, it's just salt water body.
But how many people are fishing in the Providence River? We're not pulling fish out of there, right?
Well, no, I mean, it's it'll
get to the ocean eventually, kind of thing.
Listen, you don't want to do that. That's like your last resort. But I guess there are some places to be able to put the snow. So hopefully they get a chance to. I'm still telling you, somebody should invest in one of those ice melting machines.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
Right? And so anyway.
All right. As Tim found out, TF Green Airport opened up last night.
It sure did.
I'm sorry, opened up yesterday afternoon.
3 o'clock.
For taking things off. But you had to go there last night.
I had to go pick my wife up, who was
good times, huh?
in Florida. Now she says she felt bad that she wasn't here with me.
No, she didn't.
Deep down inside.
No, absolutely not.
The reality is apparently it was cold down there too. It was nice for a couple of days and then it got cold.
What, into the 50s?
No, it was freeze warnings.
Oh wow,
in Florida. Okay. So it was chilly for them down there. But my daughter was down there in a conference, and that's why my wife went down to spend some mother-daughter time. And so my wife did not have to worry about a place to stay when her first flight got canceled.
Oh, that's great.
But I was telling Joe when I was trying to rebook the flight on my phone, I found a flight on American Airlines and started to fill it out and needed to get her TSA number, so I had to go to a different app. But by the time I get back to the American Airlines app, it came up, the flight is no longer available. And I went, oh my God, you're kidding me, right? People are just rapid fire getting these. And I couldn't get through to JetBlue, so that was another story. But I went to, so I go back onto the website, I clear everything out, I go back on, well, the flight's still there. I'm like, well, the flight's not full. And I look at it, but it's $200 more expensive in 5 minutes.
Wow.
I was like, holy cow. Momentum pricing, that's what that is. That's when the demands are high.
Fortunately, you were just looking for one ticket. Imagine if you were trying to get a family of 4 or 5 back. Yeah, you would have to break up into 2 groups.
And I did find a seat she did on this, and I figured better to come in as late as we can, giving the airport enough time to try to get it. But even then, she got in at 11:08 last night. They hadn't finished plowing the parking area, the gate, so the plane waited while they finished plowing the gate so the plane could pull in. Well, then the plane pulled in, and now they got to get the luggage off the plane. And TF Green's going through a little bit of construction if you haven't been there. So there's only 2 baggage claim areas open right now. Everything else is under construction. Yes.
So it's hurry up and wait.
Were you picking her up last night?
I was.
Oh, that's the worst, because she's texting you sitting on the plane waiting, and you're in the parking lot.
Sitting there listening to the guy play the piano, by the way, who's fabulous.
Oh, you went in and waited?
Oh, of course I did.
Oh, that was nice of you. I don't even bother. I sit in the waiting parking lot spot.
Played a couple games on my phone. It was fine.
Oh.
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee AM program. More coming your way. Let's take a look at that forecast. It's snowing. And it's being brought to us by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation.
The National Weather Service has issued a special weather statement for a burst of intense snow of 1 inch or 2 coming down in a short period of time. Snow is likely mainly before 1 p.m. high of 38 degrees, southeast winds up to 25 miles per hour, new snow accumulation of 1 to 2 inches possible. Tonight, cloudy skies early in the evening, gradual clearing, overnight low of 25. Thursday's weather is a slight chance of some snow after 4 p.m. Sunny skies, however, for most of the day with a high of 37 degrees and a light breeze from the west. Thursday night, still a tiny chance of some snow. No accumulations are being mentioned. Partly cloudy skies with an overnight low of 16 degrees. Friday, sunshine and a high of 38. Saturday, mostly sunny and 46. Sunday, mostly sunny and 38. Monday, there's a 30% chance of some snow, but partly sunny skies as well, with a high of 26 and a breeze from the north. And on Tuesday, mostly sunny, high near 32 degrees.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, snow, yay, and 25 degrees. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported foods. Open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 in the morning till 6 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. It's Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse. Follow us on Facebook and learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street, Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
Every winter, the state of Rhode Island prepares for the winter season, and we want you to be prepared as well. At the Rhode Island Emergency Management Agency, our top priority is keeping everyone safe, so we want to remind you to be prepared for the ice, cold, and snow. Keep an emergency supply kit, have a communications plan, and stay informed. Find more information at riema.ri.gov or visit us on social media. Brought to you by the Rhode Island Emergency Management Agency and the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association.
ON Worldwide.
It is Coffee and here on ON AM and FM. We thank you for joining us on this Wednesday morning. Joe Callahan here with Melissa Smith and Tim Draper. And Tim, time for your first message, please, from Navigant Credit Union.
So let's just talk about branch openings because everybody's interested. I know we talked about this at the top of the show, but just a reminder to everybody that today all Navigant Credit Union branches are open with the exception of Central Falls, which remains closed today as they try to deal with the snow in that parking lot. And it's the Chepachet branch that we have a delayed opening till noon, not Scituate. Scituate is open as normal, but the Chepachet branch location has a delay.
Too?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably. So if you need to get your banking done, you can start doing that today. Our corporate headquarters are also open, and our staff is at the contact center. So if you have any questions, you can certainly call 233-4700 and have those questions answered. And just, you know what, stay vigilant. Check our website, navigantcu.org, our Facebook page, Instagram page, and we'll have any latest branch updates on those two channels.
Very good. All right. Because of during the storm, sad story out of Salve Regina University down in Newport, where a 21-year-old student died of carbon monoxide poisoning because he went out to his car to charge his cell phone and didn't clear out the exhaust pipe.
Right.
And it just makes you wonder, well, why don't you have a charger that you can plug into the wall and stay in your dorm room? And if you don't have one, can you borrow a friend's?
Did the dorms have electricity? Did you guys lose power?
I did not.
I didn't either, shockingly enough.
Well, if he's the only one charging his phone, I'm just assuming
but
they
Newport
had
got
power.
hit. They might not have.
Power.
They might not have had power in the dorm.
Or he
Who
didn't.
knows?
Or he didn't have a phone charger that you plug into the wall. Just say,
Maybe.
well, I always just use my one in the car, and it was time to go charge it up.
And sometimes generators in large buildings like that. I used to work in a facility that only when the generator was on would provide enough electricity for the hallway, not for the individual rooms. And that might have been the case for the dorm. Maybe there wasn't electricity in the rooms, but in the hallways only or something.
Well, I did. I upgraded my generator to. I had a transfer switch put in my fuse panel, so that I could plug in my generator, and then of course I had to upgrade my generator. I still didn't pull the trigger on a whole house generator. I don't lose power enough to go that route.
Yep.
Although those times when it happens, it's like, man, I wish I had one of those, because just about every house in my neighborhood had it. Somebody went through once and had a deal on putting in whole house generators at $12,000 a piece. I'm like, I don't think I need that. Spent $1,000 on a generator, $500 on a transfer switch, and a $25 on a cable. And now if my power goes out, I can run my heating system, I can run my refrigerators, a couple of lights, keep the internet going.
Yep.
Right, that's really all you need when the power goes out. If it's dark, I just use a candle.
You're not that bougie.
No, I'm not.
You need to have every
no, I do not need
every
to have
light
every
on in your
light.
house bragging to your neighbors.
Right,
Look at me with all my expensive
The problem
stuff
is
on.
it's loud. The generators are such a pain in the neck, and you got to keep it full of gas. But
Dave let me know that according to Rhode Island Energy, 1,000 customers were out of power on Aquidneck Island and parts of Newport, so it's possible the school had no power. So he
Still
just went
a tragedy.
out.
It's
He
still
just
awful.
decided, well, I know how to charge my phone, and he went out to his car and just knocked himself. Carbon monoxide just knocks you out.
In houses where their exhaust from their heating systems comes out horizontally versus up a chimney vertically, you got to make sure those vents are all cleared out too, because
back up.
the intake is also there. So the snow, if it covers the intake, then it's not going to work. Happened to my sister-in-law a few years back, where it's like my furnace isn't working. She couldn't figure out what it was. Come to find out, there was a snow drift that covered up the vent, and so the furnace safety feature is it just doesn't work.
Yeah. Oh boy.
All right. Well, because of the snow, the Boston Globe did not print a newspaper yesterday.
No.
First time in 153 years.
That's crazy. Yeah. They're printing yesterday's today or something like that?
I guess. No print edition of the Boston Globe. Unprecedented decision. Conditions during yesterday's blizzard 2 days ago made it impossible to print and deliver the morning edition. The paper is printed in Taunton, Mass., which is in the area of the state that was hardest hit by the storm. And so, I don't know.
But
they kept
digital
printing
edition, right?
But no printed edition.
Let's go back to the conversation that you started about the blizzard of '78 and like your memory of like the
all the neighbors.
All right. Just thinking too, like everyone wants to compare the two, and this is so much worse and all the things, but it really wasn't worse because we were able to keep in touch with each other, and we were able to jump online and get an understanding of the severity of the storm and like how bad it was in different pockets and check up on our friends. And back then you were just
nobody's stuck
on your own island.
Right.
You couldn't reach out to your parents out of state and say, hey, just to let you know we're okay here. No, you had no power lines, no phone lines. Imagine that, like your kids living. For example, my parents were here in the blizzard of '78 living in Warwick. My grandparents were in northern Maine, like border to Canada,
like
which they by
Presque
themselves
Isle.
had bad winters all the time. But they didn't hear from my mom for like 4 or 5 days. So you're saying like this really wasn't bad to the extent that they went through because we had technology.
Definitely not the same type of storm. So there's that blizzard 78 caught everybody by surprise. This did not catch anybody by surprise.
No,
they've been saying all along it's 100% chance of snow and you're going to get blizzard conditions. I think the amount of snow might have surprised some people.
Yes.
Alrighty, moving on to other subjects, and we had a note called in really on a completely different subject. The note says the next Democratic nominee for president ought to be a governor. So not a senator or a congressperson or a business person. They want it to be a governor. As someone who runs a state, Democratic colleagues have a proven track record against President Donald Trump and for struggling Americans. Someone wrote this, by the way. They're quoting what they read in the Providence Journal on Sunday. When the American people are hungry for someone that makes life a little bit better or a little bit easier, that's what governors do on a daily basis. Democratic governors have receipts, and Donald Trump does not. He probably doesn't like that very much. And then we had the State of the Union last night, which I did not watch. Did you watch it, Melissa, at all?
I watched some of the highlights.
I watched 30 seconds and then couldn't take it anymore.
I watched zero.
My impression, and this is what's funny, so I'm not going to talk about anything specifically that he said. I remember a long time ago as a parent, like reading basically that when you yell at your kids, they tune you out. They don't listen. Like that's not a strategy that will make you a successful parent. Talk to your kids at a level and at a voice tone that they can process what you're saying and explain yourself carefully. My impression out of the gate with last night, he started out yelling like pretty early on, and lecturing like an angry parent,
and pointing
I thought,
to the
I just tuned
Democrats saying their fault. Them over there, us, we're great. Them, they're horrible.
And
That's
I think this is what's said. People ask me all the time, like, you must be a Trump hater. You must be. No, I don't hate all things. Like I have policies that I endorse and I support. it's the demeanor, it's the name calling, it's all the things that as a parent that I try to teach my kids not to do, or myself as a parent not to do, that he does, and I just tune it out. I can't listen to any more hate or yelling or negativity anymore. I just want to.
Can I tell you what disappointed
warmth.
me last night about the whole thing? It kind of offended me to some degree. Is that I love the fact that he celebrated the hockey team and the gold medal and all the things that go along with that, and they came to the White House and we're going to give this goalie the Medal of Freedom, blah 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 blah. But if I recall, didn't the women win a gold too?
They were invited.
It's funny you brought that up.
And they declined.
That's
to go.
okay,
but
they can decline it. Yeah. But he could still have the class to say, "Hey, we have 2 gold medal winners."
That's true.
I'd like to welcome the men who came.
Yes.
But let's acknowledge the women that won too.
Well, thank you for saying that.
And I appreciate
so
glaring to me.
I don't want to go deep into this because I'm the only female panelist, and I get that. But there was a snarky remark by our president to our women's team,
Just
and
one?
that's why they declined.
Yeah.
So I think, however you interpret it, him being sarcastic or not, you guys can look it up. I don't want to go into this, but that was why. It wasn't for any other reason. It was the delivery of his snarky remark that they're like, "We're good."
It's fine.
So that's fine.
I didn't. He could have handled that differently, but in true Donald Trump form, it's not about anybody else but him, so it doesn't really matter.
So the big thing, you've heard it all over the news, I'm sure, is he asked people to stand up if you believe America should come first and illegal aliens come second, and most of the Democrats just sat there.
Right.
So
because that was a baited question. He was trying to get them to do that for a visual to show the country, look at these people.
Yes.
We're united on this topic.
So there you go. So I'm sure you'll hear more about that as it goes on. And I forget what state he's from. I think
the guy that got thrown out again.
Al Green got thrown out again.
Yep.
Because he held up a sign that says African Americans are not apes.
Yep.
And so they threw him out.
Yep.
and he was going, and Trump was going back and forth with what's her name from Minnesota, Ilhan Omar.
Omar, yeah.
Because when it's during the State of the Union, it's not a discussion.
No, it used to be.
Just let him let the president speak. And then,
by the way, the State of the Union is not a requirement of the job.
It was a requirement.
I think so. If I'm wrong, correct me, somebody.
I'm pretty sure it is a requirement. You have to address both houses once a year.
Yeah, but I don't think you have to do it on national television.
No, you don't have
all
to.
Other stuff,
because they didn't do it way back.
But it used to be the president would get up there, he would deliver his side of government, what he would like to have accomplished, and there'd be applause lines and all that other stuff, and it would be an hour, right?
Yeah.
45 minutes to an hour, because that's all you needed. There was so much self-flagellation and patting myself on the back and pointing fingers, and it was a clown show.
Mm-hmm. And that's why you tune out.
And that's why 30 seconons into watching it, I'm like, I just can't handle it anymore. I'm just. So now when somebody's gonna ask me about the State of the Union, I don't know how to watch it.
Yeah.
I watched The Curse of Oak Island, which is my favorite show.
If you were heading down the path of like, this is kind of what it's always been. It has been for like the last, let's say 15, 20 years. It feels like whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, there's been an opportunity to like yell and taunt the president as they're speaking. I don't agree with that at all. Either side of the aisle, nobody should be doing that. That's not the format for it. But I just feel, I don't know the direction I was going with this in, but it just feels like we've gotten so off course from respecting the office.
I think in all fairness, it was a Republican that started that. He called Obama a liar.
Yeah,
in the middle of the State of the Union.
Yeah,
was wrong.
No, you're right.
Which was wrong.
It was right around that because it stood out for It stood out.
And that begins the whole Al Green's going to stand up there with
Yep.
So I just feel right now our president's playing the victim role of like people yelling at me during. Well, you know what? There's been a lot of back and forth. Let's not go there. I think everyone's fatigued from this, and the reason the nutshell is you tuned out for that reason. I tuned out for that reason. I think people are very tired of it, and let's just get down to doing the job.
But you know what happens? Our fatigue with this whole stuff breeds finding. The electorate will go in the opposite direction, and they'll find a polarizing figure on the other side because that person's made some great promises, and we're just so tired of things happening on this side that we're willing to take the chance on that side. Right. And there's no looking for moderation anywhere. There's no trying to figure out how we get back towards the middle. It's all about let's see how far to the sides we can go. And it really is showing that this country is very, 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 very divided in a lot of areas. And that's the thing that scares me. There's nobody willing to put their reputation out there and say, listen, we can't do this and we come back together again. And the problem is, by coming back together again, you've got to compromise. And, whichever side you're on, if you compromise, you're showing weakness to your base. And those are the people who are going to elect you to be put into the general race.
So back to the caller. Will the Democrats put up a governor to be their nominee? I know Gavin Newsom has kicked it around that he's thinking of running.
Problem is there's nobody on that side that I think
maybe
has at least come up yet that has any sort of a moderate position on anything.
I think you're going to, at least, if it's not a governor, you're going to go back to what the trend has been for many years, a career politician. I think you're going to go back to someone who has a track record. I think we've tested the waters in a non-politician form and picked a businessman, and maybe everyone's saying, hey, there's some validity to maybe finding someone who has on-the-job experience on how to be political and professional and build relationships back up again.
Yep.
We got a note called in. Just as Joe, the president did acknowledge the women's hockey team and also stated they will be visiting the White House shortly. I don't know if he did that last night or just.
I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it in the 30 seconds I watched it, so I can't. When he introduced the men's hockey team, it was all about the men's hockey team, and I didn't hear anything about the women.
All right, we're gonna take another break here on the Coffee AM program. So, Tim, time for a second message from Navigant Credit Union.
So, folks, if you are thinking about making some home improvements this spring, as I look out the window with the snow, or you need some snow blowing money, I don't know. Feel free to jump online at navigantcu.org and go visit our lending center and see all the great lending products that we have that might fit your needs. If you're thinking about updating your kitchen, putting an addition on, putting a pool in, maybe it'll help sending a kid to school next year. Whatever that might be, the equity in your house is there for you to use for these great purposes. So, again, go to navigantcu.org and look at our lending center, or you can give us a call on 233-4700, or stop by any one of our 25 convenient locations. We have a great one right here in Woonsocket. Christian's great and his team is great, so feel free to stop in there and talk to them about your options.
Very good, Tim. More of Coffee In coming your way here on ON Radio.
ON 1240.
Hello, this is Melissa, and here's what's happening in the Valley. Enjoy live music at St. Joe's Vets Saturday, February 28th at 8 p.m. with the return of the Strum Dogs. All are welcome, and there is no cover charge. This takes place at St. Joseph's Veterans Association, 99 Louise Street in Woonsocket. Do you have an event you'd like to share? Email us at events@woonsocketradio.com.
Fans of smooth jazz, the Dave Koz Radio Show can be heard right here on the one and only ON AM and FM every Sunday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. The Dave Koz Radio Show is brought to you by the Carew Investment Group and by Wright's Dairy Farm.
ON Radio.
Thanks for joining us on the Coffee AM program here on ON AM and FM. Joe Callahan here with Melissa Smith and Tim Draper. Another note called in before I get to what I wanted to get to. Presidential nominee, California Democrat Governor Gavin Newsom, possible candidate. Yes, that's right.
Yes.
Right.
So,
but California has a few issues
of their own to worry about.
Itself. I'm not sure he's the right guy.
All right. I love when people think outside the box. To get things done.
This sounds like a happy topic. I'm excited.
Well, this was pretty good.
Okay.
Because we talked about, you got to shovel, and you really got to, if fire hydrants are on your property, you got to shovel them out. Yep. Well, at least you should. And don't wait for the fire department to come around and do it. Down in New Jersey, Montvale, New Jersey, one New Jersey fire department is coming up with a creative way to get the snow hydrants cleared. Fire hydrants cleared from the snow. The Montvale Volunteer Fire Department says kids who shovel 3-foot diameters around as many fire hydrants as possible and take photos and post the locations have a chance to win $50 gift cards.
I love it.
Genius. Brilliant.
It's a great idea.
It's a great idea.
The competition to win some dough in the snow lasts through March 1st, just in case we have more more storms down there. And the prize will be offered to the top 5 shovelers.
Nice.
So there you go.
Is it based on quantity of hydrants that you shovel, I wonder?
Kids are encouraged to wear dress warm and wear bright colors. So it's shovel out as many fire hydrants as possible.
All right.
And you got to take photos. You got to say, well, yeah, I did 75.
Right.
Well, no, you didn't.
Telling Joe, he and I were volunteer firefighters in North Cumberland Fire Department as we were growing up. And you just said you shoveled your hydrant out from your house recently. I remember as a volunteer, the guys driving up to the fire hydrants and the fire trucks, staying in the truck and going, "All right, kid, get out. Let's shovel this hydrant."
Let's us.
As a volunteer, I used to shovel hydrants all the time. I'm like, why can't people who live in that house right there shovel that hydrant? That's going to help them if their house catches on fire.
Well, I think about that too. My house, neighbor's house, house across the street.
Right.
And the last thing you want to hear is the fire chief saying, "Well, we could have saved the house if we didn't have to shovel out the fire hydrant."
That's true. Spent 20 minutes trying to shovel out the fire hydrant.
So, but I think this is a great idea that they're doing in Montvale, New
That is a
Jersey.
great idea.
It's $250. We'll give out $5 $50 gift cards to the top, the ones that shovel out the
all
most.
the fire departments in Northern Rhode Island here take note.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Right, all the chiefs.
All right, we just came through the Winter Olympics. So 2 years is the Summer Olympics in LA, and online registration for tickets to the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles have surpassed 5 million.
Well,
people who want to go, they want to see what's going on. That's a new record, by the way.
Olympics detox right now.
I am too.
I am having such a hard time because I think every morning it's been so refreshing to not flip on the news, but to have the option of watching like bobsled.
Because the time difference over there. Oh, Milan, it's in the middle of the afternoon. Let's turn it on.
Because I wake up early, right? I mean, you're complaining about waking up at 5, and I'm like, I get up at 4:30 every day. But it's been so nice not to watch the headlines for the news or whatever, but instead say I can skip it and watch
the Olympics,
whatever event's on, and that's over.
So registration opened in January. People have signed up from all 50 states, so yay, Rhode Island, and 194 countries. 1.5 million people signed up in the first 24 hours of registration, and an average of 100,000 new registrations are coming in each day. Registering allows people to enter a random drawing for future ticket purchases time slots. The online portal will remain open through March 18th, and between March 31st and April 7th, participants will be notified via email if they have been assigned to purchase a time slot.
It's like trying to get tickets to the Masters.
The first window for ticket purchases for people selected in the draw opens in April. So that's terrific. That people want to go see what's going to happen at the Olympics.
I find this Winter Olympics just more entertaining.
Oh, it's so cool.
There's more.
It's so dangerous.
You could die.
Yes,
you could die.
Bobsled, the skeleton,
you can't
the luge.
die running around a track unless you get a heart attack.
Let's go 80 miles an hour.
Oh my God! What is going through their mind?
Did you see the video of Colin Jost to the
the bobsled
weekend update?
That was hysterical.
He's doing the 2-man bobsled. Of course, he's just in the back.
Okay.
Screaming down the chute because they're going 85 miles an hour on the ice, and he's like, It is funny to watch. He goes, and when he ended, that was more intense than I ever thought possible.
Oh, God.
So.
Even Jason Kelsey, who did it in the 4-man bobsled, said the same thing. He goes, it was just terror all the way down. It's got to be an adrenaline junkie thing.
Right. Yeah. But even something as simple as like curling, right? You watch them and you're like, that doesn't look hard.
Yeah.
It's and then you see
difficult.
Jason Kelsey and his wife actually were like trying to learn how to do it, and they just kept falling on their stomach and falling over because it was slippery.
We have a man that comes here on Friday, Rich Elaine. Who goes up somewhere in Worcester.
Oh, is he doing curling?
And has done curling in the past, and it's right. It's getting into that position to push the stone, and then getting out of that position,
and getting up
on the ice, and then the brushing of the brooms.
Jamie Quinn, the publisher of the Valley Breeze, he's a big curler.
Is he?
Yeah,
okay.
He's the Dartmouth Curling Club or something like that out there. Yeah,
and I love the fact. I think I shared this with you before. We did a couple winters in a row, New Year's Eve actually up in Freeport. So LL Bean has like outdoor activities to do, whatever, all snow related, and they had curling set up outside their store to like try out. It is pretty cool. I feel like there should be more things like that right now, right?
Just for fun, I went online and just because what I also like speed skating.
Yes,
the power and the short
They're
track.
Fast too.
Short track is so much fun to watch. I said, is there a place to try out speed skating around here? And there is. It's in Walpole.
Really?
There's a speed. There's a speed.
Oh, is it
skating.
that arena where all the figure skaters?
Yeah.
Okay.
They go there. I say, well, I'm too old to try out for the Olympics. But I'm like, because being a former hockey player, I would love to see how much. Because I thought I went fast. Then how much faster can I go on those skates?
Right, it's that motion.
Oh, you have to have strong ankles and knees.
All the thighs.
Oh my God,
amazingly.
The bobsled thing. Go back to that for a second. So one guy was from Bethel, Maine.
Yep, and the driver.
Right, and
some from Mass too.
We were just up in Bethel, Maine a couple summers ago, and I'm thinking to myself, where do you where do they practice?
Lake
Are there?
Yeah, Lake Placid is
Is that
one.
what it is?
There's
But
only
how
a
do
few
you, because
places.
they're from all over. These guys driving.
I think
are
Salt Lake
from
City
all
has a
over.
track, and Lake Placid has a track.
So how do you
Yeah.
get into it? Like you wake up one day and you say, "Hey, I'm from Maine. I feel like I want to try bobsledding." Like
Probably.
I'm
And then you call up
fascinated.
somebody.
Now that we have the internet, you do what I just did with the speed skating. How do I get involved in bobsled? And say, oh, there's the Team USA Bobsled Association. Here's their email address or here's their website. Go check it
Yeah.
out and
Yeah.
see how you can get
It's
involved
so
in it.
cool. It's so, and snowboarding and the half pipe and all. There's just so much. Where do you
Right.
start? How do you
The
even get
bigger- I
inspired
know.
to do those
I'm like,
things?
wow, this is amazing.
There was one
There-
kid from Utah who was doing the sorry to interrupt the snowboarding
Yep.
half pipe. And they were showing that in the summer when there's no snow or whatever and he can't get him to the mountains and practice. Like he had this whole inflatable track thing. And I'm like,
Yep.
how do you convince your parents at 17? Because I think that's when they bought it for
Right.
him. Hey, can you drop like $100,000 on
How
this
about
inflatable thing for the
Ski
backyard?
jumpers in Europe, and they just have it. They have the grass, artificial turf landing zones, and then they have these chutes that are just like all they are plastic. I think.
Well, they showed you in the Olympics. They had a little coverage of what they do in Norway, and they showed a 4-year-old.
Yeah.
4-year-old ski jump.
Yeah,
I
just
mean,
a-
I mean,
just
he
a
only
little jump. Boop.
he only went 2 feet.
Yeah.
and then the snow was right there to land. But the point was everything's free, and that's how that's why they're so good at it, because they start at such a young age and say, okay, it's time to go out and or go cross country skiing, or if you want to try ski jump, this is the way you start, and and there's no competition. It's just all come out and have a good time, and they start around 13, and that's when they start separating out. Well, who's good at really one sport over the other? It's really cool how they do it in Norway, which is why they won all those medals.
Right.
They were phenomenal.
They did such a great job.
Snowboard cross. That's another one.
Yeah. All right. How would you like to be this woman? According to Social Security, a woman who lives in Dallas is officially dead again. She's been declared dead
dying.
4 times. She's still alive. The agency has incorrectly
What's her
declared
last name Smith? How does that?
has incorrectly declared 94-year-old Helen Cvik, C-V-I-K, dead
my God,
4
that's not even
times
It's not even a common name. How does that happen?
in less than 10 years. The first and second times in 2017 and 2020 were cleared up quickly, though with no explanation. Social Security declared Miss Helen legally dead twice in 2025, most recently in December. That problem hasn't been cleared up yet, and Miss Helen and her family are paying for her insurance, prescriptions, and assisted living care because she's getting no money in because she's dead.
How do they
How do you-
have
how
to
do you-
report that? Somebody has to report that person died, don't they?
Well, yeah.
So who's reporting that this woman's
That's
dead?
quite the scam.
I don't know.
This quick.
And when you go to the Social Security office, she's right here.
Yeah. She's not dead, clearly.
See, she's clearly just sitting right here. So I don't know. So it was just
That is
There's enough
crazy.
hoops with getting older
Yeah.
and Social Security and Medicare and all the things that come with it. Imagine that family going through. I'm trying to tell you, my mom is here and she's alive.
She's right here.
You know, the nurses are verifying.
I just got a birthday present.
Just putting myself into the situation, and it's like, oh, I can't even imagine the nightmare for that family.
well, no surprise. Nick Reiner pleaded not guilty.
Yeah.
To
But his
murdering
siblings have
his parents.
stopped paying for his legal defense. Did you see that?
Well, I thought he had a public defender.
No, so I think his siblings were paying for his legal defense, but they've since decided no.
Not to because
Blame
it
him.
doesn't look good for him.
But you watch. This is mark my word. His medication got changed a month before he did that. They're going to go after the doctors on this.
Wow, okay.
Yep, that's my guess. They're going to say it's their fault that he stabbed his parents to death.
Reiner is facing 2 counts of first-degree murder on suspicion of stabbing his parents to death inside their home in December. Reiner is being represented by a public defender. Her name is Kimberly Green. After his initial attorney stepped away from the case, I'm not getting paid anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm not doing this anymore.
Right.
He is behind bars without bail. His next court appearance will be in late April, when a preliminary hearing is scheduled to be set.
Crazy.
So that's
How old is he?
that's rough there.
They won't do that to him, but
And things you can't do. The manager of a Miami convenience store is accused of stealing a large number of Florida lottery scratch-off tickets.
yeah, I would think that would be a
And the man
bad thing.
He was arrested and charged with organized fraud and grand theft. He was busted after the store owner discovered missing scratch-off ticket books. Authorities say the ticket values more than $300,000.
Oh.
Florida lottery. Investigator says the stolen tickets were cashed in bulk at a single retailer. You think you'd spread it out,
right? Make it a little more difficult for investigators.
I got 100 of these.
Yeah,
I want all the cash now, please. Will that be okay with everybody? I don't know. And Martin Short's daughter died.
Oh, that was sad.
Did she? Wow, 42 years old. In her Hollywood home Monday night. Appears to be committed suicide.
Yep.
Wow. And the Short family obviously devastated by this loss. They want privacy at this time. He was the oldest of his 3 children, adopted by Martin, and worked as a social worker in L.A.
It was a female, wasn't it?
Yeah, Catherine.
Yeah,
Catherine Short. Wow, crazy.
That's sad.
All right, that'll do it for the show for today. Is it still snowing? It's still snowing. All right.
Can't even. I just looked it up, but it's still saying 1 inch. But I'm thinking, there's
that's
no
coming
way.
down, baby.
There's
going to be no parking at work. I'm going to get there. It'll be the last spot.
Sorry about that, folks.
No, I spent 2 days at home. I need to get out. I need to go to work.
All right. Melissa Smith, thanks for coming in, though.
Thank you for having us. So we'll see you next week with the next storm.
Oh, great. Super.
Report, right? Oh, Lord.
Absolutely. Tim Draper, thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Joe. Everybody go out there and, just enjoy this God-given day.
All righty. Stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. They are here, and they're coming up after the 9 o'clock news here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. President Trump is calling out the dangers of fentanyl and pointing to Mexico while touting his efforts to combat illegal drugs entering the U.S.
That's why I designated these cartels as foreign terrorist organizations, and I declared illicit fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction.
Trump made the statement during last night's State of the Union address in his comments about Mexico